All right, why don't we start in standing? So just gather the room about you. As you know, this series is about vision, intention with the eyes, and how that affects vision. Uh, and I actually ask you this quite commonly anyway in our classes, which is to see just how you gather in the room into your brain here. In other words, what do you see? And you just taking in, in an opening scan, we're just taking in what our impressions are of the world and ourselves. Yeah. So you're just looking at the light, the play of shadow, and just getting a general sense of what the height in the room is of your attention. And I'll often ask, well, what's the set of your shoulders like? Now, what relationship could that have to where you easily see in the room? And I'll ask at the end of a lesson, did you get taller? Did you get shorter? All of our organization about what we see and take in is related to the tension in the rest of our body or the tone. If we're pulled a little bit downward in the front, we won't feel like we have a representation of the world around us very high, yeah? So the tension in the body is reflected in the eyes, and the tension in our eyes gets reflected in our body. It's all connected. Take a little walk around. And just sense what it's like today. How do your legs move? Do your arms move? And as you walk around, you're looking where you're going, aren't you? And we do it pretty unconsciously. And then come back and lie on your back, please. And just have your legs long and close your eyes. And actually, before you close your eyes, just look around in this position. Notice the texture of the ceiling in front of you. Notice the amount of light. Notice any shadows. And then take in the sense of your body on the floor. Notice your legs. Notice how your pelvis is lying. Notice the length of your spine. Feel the ribs on each side of your spine on the floor. Sense how your shoulder blades are lying today. Notice any differences between each side. Roll your head a little bit left and right and see what that's like. Just going as far as is very easy. And notice when you roll your head a little left and right, what do your eyes do? Sense if your eyes direct the movement. They don't have to, but it's a strong tendency, isn't it? The eyes look and the neck softens. And it actually maybe feels like it's instantaneous. And then let that go and just lie with your face facing the ceiling. And now take your hands, and I'm going to have you cup each eye with its respective hand. So you'll cup the right eye with the right hand. And so you'll use the palm to create a cover over the eye. And it's a cover, it's nice to use the palm because then the hand is not actually touching your eye. And really, it's not even touching the eye muscles around the eye. And it creates a nice, there's no leaks of light in at the hand like there are in the fingers. So that's another good reason to choose that. And then feather your fingers a little bit so that the right hand is closest to your forehead, and the fingers of the left hand just lie a little bit on the fingers of the right hand. It's like the feathers on the back of a duck. And the fingers don't have to be spread out. But they're just lying, the right hand's closer to the forehead and the left's on top. And if that doesn't create a better sort of cupping of the eye, then you can also ignore that. Just find a way to have your palms covering your eyes in the most comfortable way with the best seal to keep out as much light as possible. But your hand is very soft. You're not forcing, you're not pressing. You're just resting the hands over the eyes like this. And now that you're here, and you'll have the eyes closed here, of course, and see if you can also remove as much force that's in your shoulders. You'll use the least amount of effort to cover the eyes. And notice your breathing. Can your low belly be soft? And then take in what kind of color you see here in your vision. So it's probably some sort of darkness. But notice whether that's actually black or not. You may find that there's actually areas that are not really quite black. It might kind of be a bluish darkness or a grayish darkness. Notice if there's different shades in different parts of your vision. And you may actually see all kinds of colors happening. It might be swirling about like a kaleidoscope. And so Moshe talks about in this lesson that a lot of that color is because our optic nerve is still quite excited. Because we've been doing stuff and so that's reflected in colors and shapes here. Our brain is a predicting machine, and so there's still some amount of predicting and looking about. In other words, you're primed to do and to see. And so it's an indication that the whole system is not quiet. So we'll see, as you quiet your nervous system through the lesson, we'll see what happens. Now, as you find a point in this darkness, find the blackest place you can find, like the blackest color. And then see if there is an area that's not as black. You might find another place that's black. Like, are they dots? Are they little shapes of black? Are there regions of black and regions of less black? And then find a black area, probably the largest you can find. And then just think that that area is big and covers the whole background. So you're, of course, using your imagination. But just find a place of blackness and then just imagine you're spreading it out a little larger. You're just shaping it to be a little larger with your imagination. And you obviously do not need to be good at this. It might seem impossible. Don't even try to will it very hard. Just look at a place and say, hey, am I imagining that might be getting darker or no? Now, keeping your eyes softly closed, slowly take the hands away from your eyes and gradually put them down at your sides, but don't jerk them away. You keep your eyes closed and just slowly move the hands down to be at your sides. Now, don't open your eyes, but you'll notice keeping your eyes closed, there's a giant influx of light, isn't there? Just notice how much brightness there is that gets through your eyelids. And now slowly let your eyes float just a little bit to the right and then return. You're keeping your eyes, you're keeping your eyes closed. And the eyes just slide a little bit to the right. So you're not moving your head right now. Attempt to not move your head. Your head probably will want to move. Your neck, your neck will soften in that way, direction. So if you start to move your head, just do it smaller. You're just only moving to the right and back to the middle. And do this as if your eyes are really heavy. And so you're turning both your eyes each time. And now, next time you go to the right with your eyes, imagine that you're able to see through your head over to your right ear. Now, don't strain your eyeballs to do this. There's only so much physical distance your eyes will go, but use your imagination. So just imagine you've got see-through vision and you can see your ear. You can imagine your eye goes farther than it actually can. And you still don't move the head expressly. It's fine if the tone starts to take it that way, but just leave it where it is as much as possible, leaving your head heavy. And you're coming back each time slowly. Now, notice now where the front is. Where does the front seem to be? So in one of the recordings of Moshe teaching this lesson, he asks, he says that often people can move their eyes a little right and left and still feel that the eyes are in the front. And in that book I recommended in my email yesterday by Norman Doidge, in that 6th chapter, he talks about this idea of a central fixation, I think it's called. That might not be the right term. And that we basically, through looking at things so closely all the time, we kind of change our brain a little bit to where we're looking a little outside. There's a central part of the macula that has cones, and I only know this from reading the book. I haven't studied it a lot on the internet, but like the cones are what see a great amount of detail. You can pause while I'm talking here if your eyes are getting tired. And that when we sharpen too much on small detailed things, we end up shaping our muscles in our eyes such that we start to try to fixate with an area outside that central part of the macula. And so it's the rods that are trying to see. And though their rods are not designed to see great detail. And so that's why sometimes our vision will get a little blurry. And so one of the symptoms of that is that we're not sure where the exact front is. So let's explore that idea. I don't know. This is what he talks about in this lesson, and actually this is something that Bates figured out. If you read that chapter, maybe some of you have heard of Bates. He's an ophthalmologist that lived. He died in the 30s, so he's like 19th century to early 20th century, and he pioneered a lot of somatic and movement work to heal one's eyes. And so Feldenkrais' work is with the vision is based a lot on what Bates researched. And so that's Bates talks about that central zone, that central fixation. So now come again, and this time when you look to the right, I'm going to have you look, you're keeping your eyes closed, but look far away from you. Like pretend you're imagining it, of course, but imagine you're looking at a point on the ceiling. And from that point, actually, but first just notice the difference. So you'll look at, you're imagining you're seeing a point on the ceiling, and then come back and imagine you're seeing a point at the bridge of your nose. But do it slowly. But just sense what the muscles do of your eye to look far away and then to look very close. Notice if there's a subtle shift. And the next time you imagine you're seeing the ceiling, stay there and then sweep your vision across the ceiling to the right. And then return to the front. In fact, yeah, just do that a little bit to the right and back to the center. And can you find whether the eyes, when they're in the center, feel like they're in the front? Whatever that means for right now. And then next time you take your eyes to the ceiling and then sweep to the right, can you keep going until you get to the right corner of the room where it intersects with the wall? And then slide your vision down the wall. You're imagining this, of course. And then until you get to the floor where the wall intersects with the floor. And then slide across the floor until you get to your right ear. And then you come back to the front again. And do that a few times. So with your eyes closed, you're just looking as if you can see you're at a point on the ceiling, and then you're gliding the point on the ceiling across to the right wall, and then you're gliding down the right wall, and you're sliding across the floor from the right wall to your right ear, and then you're coming up to the bridge of your nose, and then you start over again. You look at the ceiling, etc. And so it's a circuit, yeah? And then begin to do it faster. And so it may feel less like a box if you do it quicker. It might feel a little more like a oval or circular pattern. That's fine. Now do it without straining your eyeballs. Can you do it rather abruptly? You just flit over to the right ceiling, then the right wall, then towards your ear, and then to the ceiling again, over to the right and down. As fast as you can, easily, without straining, if it gets super sloppy and you lose control, then just go a little slower than that. And then do it very slowly, maybe one more time. And just focus this time on noticing where in front is. And then pause. And now look with your eyes closed, look slowly towards your left ear and return to the middle. Just doing this first approximation, and don't expect it to be the same as the right. Don't make it the same as the right. Just notice, and this is maybe a direction where you don't take the eyes as easily. Notice your breathing as you do this. And then next time you go over, actually now go from staying in the front, whatever the front means to you, and now look towards the ceiling with your eyes closed. And go back and forth between the ceiling and the bridge of the nose once or twice. Just sensing now what happens with the muscles of your eyes. Is it clear now? Now, next time you're at the ceiling, stay there and now slide across the ceiling to the left till you run into the upper left wall. Then come down the left wall till you're at the floor, and then slide across the floor to your left ear. And then you'll hop up onto your left bridge of your nose again, and then you'll from there look till you're seeing a point on the ceiling again. Then sliding to the left. And just keep going like that. It's a box kind of shape you're making. Notice if you breathe as you do this. Can you keep your belly expanding on the inhale, collapsing on the exhale? And then start doing this shape quickly. You look at the ceiling, you come across the left, you just do it quickly, and it's quick, it's light, and it might feel a little sloppier. It might begin to be like a circle or oval. And don't strain your eyeballs. And then come to the front again and just notice where does the front seem to be. And now just slowly go a little left and a little right. Just the tiniest amount. And sense, can you feel where the front is? If you had to pick a spot that's the front, what would you pick? And now cover your eyes again like you did before with the palms cupped over the eyeballs. And the fingers can be crossed. The left fingers over the right fingers a little bit. In whatever way to have no pressure on the eyeballs. And can you see a larger black area now? Whatever amount of black you can see, can you pick a place and make it a little bigger than you did before? And if it's not there for you, just think that a black spot grows and grows until it fills the whole background. Just imagine it. And it may not be possible for some of you to imagine that. But just still think about it. Welcome the possibility. And if at any point you want your legs to be bent and your feet standing, that's great. Now remove your hands again. Keep your eyes closed. Just take them away slowly. Notice the flood of light that comes in, even though your eyes are closed. And look a little bit left and right and just see what that's like now. And now look with your eyes closed a little closely at your nose, and then sweep your eyes over to the left till you're at the ear. And then move across the floor to your left till you run into the wall. Go up the wall to the ceiling. Go across the ceiling, but this time keep going till you're at the right side of the ceiling, and then go down the right wall, across the floor to your ear, and then go over your nose to the left ear again, and just go over to the left wall, and just go that way in a bigger square now. And notice now if your eyes tend to jump large distances, attempt to make this gliding at equal pace and quietness. Notice where that's not possible. There might be little bumps or speed up spots. So our eyes are accustomed to seeing at specific angles. It gets habituated. So we might see sharply and clearly, and then there's a stop where it stops, and then less clearly in other places where we might cruise over those or jump. So Feldenkrais writes about this, that if you habituate them to be more gradual, you eliminate some of the angles and the vision improves. And then do this movement quickly. Then pause, and once you go the other direction, do it slowly first, a time or two. Go over to the right wall, then up the wall, to the ceiling, across the ceiling to the left, down the left wall, over to your face again, and notice if you can breathe. Is it easier to go this way, or is it easier to go the first way? And do it quickly. And now come to the middle and keeping your eyes closed. Now just do a quick movement left and right, just a little bit, just what's easy. And just notice, do you move to the right easier? Do you move to the left easier? Are they the same? Can you breathe while you do it quickly? And then please cover your eyes again like we did before. And just notice if you see larger patches of black. And again, notice if you see one place that's blacker than the rest. And then use your imagination to think that the whole background, everything you see, is turning blacker. Just think that the inside of your eyelids are it's like you're looking into black, wet velvet. And in that book that I've recommended in that chapter, they talk about that our optic nerve is the quietest and calmest when you're looking at this darkest black that a human can see. And swap your hands. So I'd had you at the beginning having the right hand closest to your face and the left a little bit over the fingers. Can you have the left fingers closest to your forehead and the right fingers a little bit over? And notice the darkness there. Keep your breathing light and remove as much effort as you can. Your hands, arms, shoulders, your face. Notice your mouth, notice your cheeks. Can you have your mouth organized so it could smile at any time without any preparation? If there was some occasion to make you smile. Can you find a readiness to smile? Now slowly, keeping your eyes closed, soften your hands a little more, take them away. And then you'll have your hands at your sides eventually. Notice your breathing in your low belly. Now you're keeping your eyes closed. Can you actually close them a little bit more? It's like you gently press the eyelids a little more closed. And then you take them more towards open, but you don't open your eyes. So you're practicing the opening of the eyes without opening the eyes. So you take them more unopened, or in other words, a little more closed. And then you lighten them as much as you can towards open without actually opening them. Do this many times, and can you do the pressing of a little more closed so that you don't use the muscles of your forehead or your cheeks, your face? As much as possible, can it just be a pressing of the eyelids a little more closed? And you can even put some fingers on your forehead and your cheeks to see, can I even do that? It might be a very tiny movement where you're not furrowing your forehead or your cheeks. I wrote about in my first email about the class about how we'll clench and then often it'll stay and we don't know it. That's something I very much do myself. And I like to notice it before I start to have an ache somewhere, but usually that's what I notice, and like, oh. So just see, is it possible to differentiate the eyelids closing a little more than normal from the muscles of the rest of your face? And it may not be possible today for you. But just do less. Do the tiniest amount of increasing the slits of the eyelids to be a little more closed. Now do that same thing. Can you do it with only the right eye? Slowly, and just a small amount of closing, pressing a little more closed with the right eye, but can you keep your left eye from doing it as much? Is that possible? You might think of somebody who's, I don't know if you were a kid and you knew somebody who was really good at winking. Like some people do that exaggerated wink. Everybody can do that where it's like, they're being kind of pantomime or they're playing like, hey, here's a big fat wink. But can you be that person who's making a very light wink, just a slow, they're not giving it away except the eyelid closes. And then play a little bit, switch eyes. Can you do the same with the left eye without involving the right eye? Can you wink with the left eye? It's that really small wink. I don't know if you've played that game. It's a party game where somebody's somebody's the spy or something, the rogue or the assassin, I think. And so they wink at people. And if nobody else sees, if they wink you before you realize it, then you're dead and you have to bow out of the game. I forget what the rules are exactly, but I just thought of that. Yeah, that wink, you don't want to give that wink away. Just a lightweight. And then return to doing both if you haven't already. Now, each time you wink both eyes at the same time, I guess it's not a wink, of course, but you're pressing them more closed and then you're taking them towards unclosed, but not opening them. Do you see more black or less black when you press the eyes closed a little bit? Can you have your face ready to smile as you close and not quite open them a few times? Can you breathe in your low belly and be ready to smile and slightly increase the pressure of the eye closing and release? Now cover your eyes again with your palms. Have the left hand again be the close one to the forehead. And what's the blackness like now? Find the blackest place and increase and expand the area again till it's a deep, deep black, wet, velvety blackness. Blacker than the black cat you may have owned or had in your life. Black like the darkness in the deepest night. I don't know if you all have been in any of the lava tubes in Oregon or done any caving, but that black is something else. Your eyes are open and it's so black. Now, can you notice the blackness without straining in the back of your neck? And again, your hands are effortless. There's no strain in the shoulders. Now, keeping your eyes closed, take your hands down again. And now, keeping your eyes closed, I'd like you to explore looking downwards like you're going to see toward your chin. And then explore moving from there upwards like you're going to see your hairline. And you're imagining you can see those things, like you can see through your face or your head. It's like you're reaching with the eyes, but only do what's possible without straining. And then the rest of the way, you're just taking your imagination to the place, to the chin, to the hairline. And your eyes will tend to want to go where the imagination goes. So make sure it's really calm. And how smooth can you make it? Where are the places where it stops and then starts again? Can you feel the jumpiness as you glide up and down? That the eye flits between spots. And after you've mastered having it smooth, can you make it quick? Can you keep it smooth as possible? It may still be jerky, but can you go back and forth quickly, up and down? Can you do this without straining your neck? You might feel, oh, I want to arch and round my neck. Well, you don't have to. Can you keep that soft? Can you keep your jaw soft? Maybe have your teeth be apart. Even though your lips could still be closed, have your teeth apart. Can you do the quick movement of the eyes up and down and keep your jaw soft? Keep your breathing soft. It's a lot of things. We have habits where we tense some of those things when we do stuff with the eyes. But just notice what's easy for you to let go, what's not. And then come back to doing it very slowly, up and down. And notice, have the jumps gotten smaller? The distance of any jumps from up and down. Now slowly, keeping your eyes closed, you'll go down to the chin. Can you keep going? And you use your imagination to drop down to down your throat to your clavicles, down your breastbone, gradually to your belly button, till you're looking down between your legs. And then come back up. You're just following like a long zipper up and down your whole torso. And then you eventually come back to the bridge of the nose and you go up to the top of your head. Then go down the whole route again. And notice how difficult it might be to find the middle. You might find that something forces you to look at that midline as if you're looking at from the right or the left and not that you're looking right down the middle. So your imagination may not match the sensation you're trying to find. So we get down to the place in the middle, down between your legs. Are you looking from the left or the right or the middle? And you come back up very slowly. Press your eyes together again, and then let it go again. And then do that distance one more time. You can start at your forehead, or you can start by just going down and then coming back up. You go down all the way, down your torso, down your belly, between your legs, then back up. And to the top of your head. And then do it quickly again. And you may not seem like you're going as far. Certainly not staying at each extreme very long, or any place very long if you're doing it quickly. Let that go and press your eyes closed again. Then let it release it, and then cover your eyes again with your hands. And just check out what the blackness is like now. Is there more black than before? Make sure you're not pressing on the eyes. They're as soft as possible, as free as possible. Are there fewer shapes? Are there fewer colors? Then slowly take your hands away. Keep your eyes closed, if that's possible. And this time, imagine there's a letter O out in front of you're finding the front again here. So find the front and put a letter O. About the size of like a capital letter O. I don't know, that's a H3 heading or an H2 heading, doesn't matter. Like you're looking at it on an imaginary screen. And then bring the O a little closer to you. Make it bigger and bigger. It's getting really big, like it's on a banner. And can you lower it so close to your face that it begins to just be a white circle, like with a thick, you see a blackness out at the periphery and up at the top and bottom. You don't even see anything outside of the O. It's mostly white and a little bit of darkness. And then can you take the O away from your face again, slowly, till it's out in front of you and it's just a capital O, like a H2 heading. And then keep going. Can you take it farther away till it's just a regular 12 font O, and then until it's a dot and it's far away from you. Can you take the O so far that it just goes out of sight through your ceiling till it's just a speck? And then bring the speck back towards you. It'll gradually come through your ceiling, and you'll start to see a tiny O like on one of those eye charts, but you imagine it's bigger and comes closer to you until it's coming so close as a giant O on a banner, and it's around your head now where you just see white. Can you actually take it further back than we did the first time till you only see the white inside the O? Can you rest the O, the outside of the O, on the floor above and below and around your head? You're imagining it can, of course, go through your body. It's draped around your shoulders where they are. And then take it farther away again till you can see it. It's big, then it's smaller and smaller. You take it till it's gone through the ceiling. It's gone so tiny, it's up in the sky. It's a speck. I do this, keep doing this, and of course, why are we doing this? We're letting the eye, no, can you feel your eye muscles as you do this? Your eyes, you have 6 muscles all around your eye that control your eye. And they do something to pull there's a contraction they do when you pull the letter close to you, and there's a different contraction they do as you look something very far away. And notice where it's jerky and where it's smooth. The goal is to smooth it out. It won't be completely smooth, but there may be still little stops and starts. But you're practicing smoothing it, which quiets the optic nerve, which quiets our nervous system. It will help you if you keep your low belly breathing soft. If you keep your teeth a little apart to make sure your jaw is not tight. If you can keep your neck and shoulders soft. Can you do all those things, but yet still feel these eye movements and feel the gradualness of the eye movements? Can you keep all of that in your mind at the same time? Now, make it faster. Quick. Now that doesn't mean tensing more, that means actually making it lighter. Keep those areas soft, and can you actually throw the O out through your ceiling till it's way out in the sky, and then it's going to ricochet back to you, it's going to fall. But you're not going to be hurt by it, of course, it's imaginary. But take it all the way till it's behind your head. You see the blackness kind of whiz by around your face. You can take it back into the earth as much as you want to. We'll do another lesson where we go backwards a lot with the imaginary looking. But for now, just throw it way up through the sky and then bring it back. Can you do that without straining? You'll feel a lot of contraction, but can it be soft? Now please bend your knees. Keep your eyes closed if you can. Of course it's not cheating if you had to open them. But I'm going to have you roll to your belly. We're not getting up yet. We're not quite done. But just slowly roll into your belly. And you'll do whatever you can you're going to look straight at the floor, so do what you can to be comfortable. You can you could place your hands in front of your forehead. Whatever's nice for you so you're not feeling like you're smashing your nose, and we won't be here too long. But in this position, I'd like you to do what we just did. Imagine there's a letter O out in front of you. Now it's in your basement, or if you're on a slab, it's down maybe you're on a second floor. Well, you can imagine what you're seeing. But you're taking the O down into either earth or down into your first story or your basement. till it's far away, and then you bring it back to you. So let's do it slowly at first, till it's resting around your head. Maybe it's resting a little behind your head, wherever you like to imagine it is. But now do this movement a few times slowly, and I want you to notice, does this feel different because you're lying on your belly? Let the eyes be heavy, and see if you can perceive the change in the relationship to gravity. The idea here is that to look far away from you in this position, you perhaps don't need to contract as much because the weight of the eye is being drawn toward the earth. And then when you bring the shape back up around you, maybe that contraction's a little harder than it was lying on your back. And see if you can imagine it's that way, even if you can't tell. You just let the eyes, it's like the weight of the eyes just is pulled by gravity so you can see far. And you just modulate a little bit so that it's a gradual sliding out of the letter O till it's a dot. And when you bring it back, just see is that you're actually using your muscles to bring the weight of the eye backwards away from gravity. Can you do this in this position without straining your neck? Can you notice your breathing? You got a nice feedback from the floor here at your belly. Just sense your breath movement. And then do it quickly, if you haven't yet. It's just very light. You don't have to go as far. Just sense the contractions. Now, pause a moment. Let your eyes continue to feel heavy. They're closed. Your eyelids are closed, of course. And now, slowly roll your head just a little bit so that your head goes a little bit. Let's say roll the back of your head to the left only and come back to the middle. Can you let your eyeballs be heavy? And can you, when you take the back of your head a little to the left, can you allow the eyes to stay heavy and gravity towards the earth? Eyes are gonna go left in your eye sockets because the back of your head's going left. Can you let the eyes stay forward, like you're seeing down into the planet? And then when you bring the back of your head to the middle, your head is gonna come to the middle where your eyes already are. So next time you take the back of the head to the left, it's like your skull goes away from the eyes. The eyes stay heavy towards the floor, like a plumb, like your eyes are a plumb line. Can you keep breathing easily as you do this? Can you have your neck be soft? And when you're ready, explore the other direction. You take the back of your head a little to the right. Is it possible on this side to let the eyes be like they're on the end of a plumb line hanging on a string? And so as your back of your skull goes right, the front of your skull goes away from the eyes to the left, and your eyes hang heavy forward. Well, now forward is not forward where your skull is, but you know what I mean, hanging towards the center of the earth. And when you come back with the skull, your front of your head aligns again with the way your eyes are hanging. And then alternate when you're ready. And see, as one direction, is it easier to let the eyes hang forward as you take the back of the skull to the left, or when you take the back of your skull to the right? You don't have to go very big with your head to feel the range of just allowing the eyes to hang heavy forward. And pause, and can you do something like this where you take your head a little, you nod your head a little bit, very, very, very small. The forehead just makes a little more weight, and then the forehead comes away and the chin makes a little more weight. But it's just, can you move your skull slightly up and down like this and keep the eyes hanging forward towards gravity? So as your forehead comes forward and your chin tucks a little, your eyes go a little up in the skull. And then as you take the chin closer and have a slight more arch in the neck, the skull goes up again. The eyes, like the eyes are hanging down in relation to the face. Then let that go. And why don't you roll onto your back again, slowly. If you can keep your eyes closed, that's great. If they just open unconsciously, that's fine too. And now, on your back, do this movement of taking the O far away and then close again, and see. Can you sense how your eye muscles work on your back? Can you sense, is there an inverse of effort compared to when you're on your belly? So on your belly, the thesis is that perhaps as you took your O far away, as you looked far away, your eyes went away with less effort than perhaps now when you look, if you were to take the O far away. You actually have to push your eyes forward to see. Or at least the contraction is such, and then the contraction maybe is softer as you pull the O back to be tiny. I'm sorry, not tiny, but giant. And then around your face, it's so giant. You do it quickly a time or two. And then roll your head a time or two, very small. Can you keep your eyes, your closed eyes, on a point at the ceiling? Now we're at the end of our time, but before you come up, cup your hands on your face again one more time, your eyes, and check what the blackness is like now. Has it gotten blacker? Is there a larger, dark expanse? And when you're ready, let that go. Bend your knees. Roll to one side slowly. And you'll eventually come to standing. Noticing what you see as you come up. Noticing the tone of your eyes. And as you come up, see what the room is like around you. Feel the set of your shoulders. You feel taller, you feel shorter. And what's the height of your vision seem like now? Sense the light you see, notice the shadows. Just see, has the light changed in the room? It's a pretty overcast day today in Oregon. So maybe even the sunlight hasn't changed that much. The daylight and coming in. But have you changed? And then take a walk. Just see what walking's like now. Just looking around. You don't need to actually do any special looking. Your brain's going to do it for you when you walk. But since, has this eye lesson changed your walking? Has it changed anything in your hips? In the way your arms swing? Has it changed your neck as you walk? Are you asking yourself, when I'm just walking around my house, why were my eyes working so hard? All right, we'll stop there. Thank you again for coming.